Welcome to R2.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Road to Ringside. We are going to be reviewing Night 2 of WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And of course, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. John Cena has become the GOAT and won his 17th title off of Cody Rhodes. And guys, stick around. I have a lot of bold predictions as to what's going to be next for him. We got to see Becky Lynch come back. Stone Cold came in and almost killed somebody. And of course, we got to see Iyo retain the title. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning into another edition of Road to Ringside. My name is Justin Winteroff. And of course, before this video starts, hit the like button if you enjoyed WrestleMania 42 as a whole. I know I did. And I did the typo there. It's actually WrestleMania 41. I apologize. But guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed it just as much as I did. And comment down below what you would have done differently, whether it was the booking for John Cena or something else. I know that there's a couple things that people weren't happy with. And of course, we're going to dive into all of that right now. So starting off the night, we got a 5 out of 5 amazing match between Rhea, Iyo, and Bianca Belair. This was a match that definitely needed to start off the night because obviously last night we saw Jey Uso and Gunther started off and the crowd was not with it whatsoever. But guys, this was an amazing match from start to finish. These women are really proving why they are the top at their game in the company. They deserve every credit and every recognition that they can get. This was amazing, guys. I want to first off by saying that Bianca Belair definitely needs to do a heel turn. The crowd was not with her whatsoever, but I really enjoyed the aspect that she was hitting all of her moves with perfection and she was crushing it, and the crowd was really into her performance. So obviously we can't deny Bianca Belair is a force to be reckoned with. She did such a phenomenal job in the ring tonight, but of course, what's next for her? I'm not sure. We're going to find out. And of course, Rhea Ripley is beyond over. Her entrance was incredible. The crowd was so into everything she was doing. And this might be Rhea Ripley's best performance ever. I think she just did a phenomenal job. Everything she did was perfect. And I loved that she had so much energy and so much enthusiasm going to the match. That's something that you absolutely need if you want to keep the crowd entertained. Again, they all three just worked with amazing, routine perfection. I loved every bit of this match. And of course, Iyo Sky ends up retaining the title in a fashion that we all were discussing that was probably going to happen, where she was going to let Rhea and Bianca kind of do their thing, handle their business, and then she was going to come in and swoop in and win the title unexpectedly. And that's exactly what happened. We saw Rhea riptide Bianca, go for the pin, and then of course Iyo Sky hits a nasty moonsault and ends up winning the title. And that's just, it doesn't get much better than that. And you know what? I really wanted Bianca Belair to win because I thought the booking decisions for her were going to be a lot more interesting. But you know what? Iyo Sky, you deserve it. And I think that whatever they have planned for you is going to be excellent. But of course, we really have to understand and really guess as to who our next opponent's going to be. In the women's Raw division, it's kind of tough to say right now. But of course, we got Becky Lynch back, which we'll talk about a little bit later. That might throw a ringer in the matches. We will see. And moving on, we got Drew McIntyre going up against Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. And if you guys are looking at the picture to the left of me, this is beyond hilarious. Of course, Drew McIntyre won a Slammy Award for social media presence of the year. And here he is proving that he is the biggest troll on the planet. So this was such a great match. I loved the interactions between Damian and Drew leading up to this match in prior weeks as well. They just came out and they were just swinging and they were proving why these two guys are the best on the SmackDown brand. Now, I loved the interactions with the tables. I loved that there were 3 tables broken. You don't get to see that too often. And everything that happened here was just fantastic. Damian Priest came out, again, guns blazing. He was upset. And Drew, guys, from the minute he walked out, you could tell he was pissed because they were promoting this new Doom game, and he was wearing this absolutely insane getup for it. And he got caught on the ropes getting in the ring. He couldn't get his wrist guards off. He was so pissed off, and it was so funny to see. But you know what? He ended up taking his anger out on Damian Priest and turning this match into a wonderful, wonderful experience. So I'm really glad that this happened. And ultimately, we're going to have to see what happens next with both of these guys. It doesn't seem like this feud is going to continue any longer because now it obviously is Drew not having to worry about Damian Priest at WrestleMania any longer. This feud is over. What's next for these guys? I'm not entirely sure, but I can't wait to see what happens. Moving on, we got, in my opinion, the match of the weekend. We got Rey Mysterio versus Bron Breakker versus versus Penta versus Finn Balor in a fatal four-way for the men's IC title. And my gosh, I mean, where do you start? It's so insane how perfect this match was. Everything about it was fantastic. Bron Breakker, guys, he is going to be going up against Jey Uso for that World Heavyweight title. I have absolutely no doubt about it in my mind. That match needs to happen. You need to book it. Bron Breakker has deserved every bit of praise that we are going to be giving him in the company moving forward. He is such a dog, no pun intended. He is such a dog in the ring, and I loved what he did, and he brought out the energy. And guys, Penta, I love the spot that they put him in right off the bat. IC title contention at WrestleMania. He's only been in the company for a couple months, and he's just been killing it. I loved every move that he performed. He came out and just did his thing, and I know that big things are going to be coming for Penta down the line, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Dom Mysterio go up against Penta at some point, because that would be awesome. I'd love to see that. And of course, we saw their prior match a couple weeks ago on Raw. That was phenomenal. It's going to be a great time. Now, speaking of Finn Balor came out, and he was obviously the one to watch out for. In my opinion, he was the favorite in this match just because of his accolades, just because of his ability to kind of sneakily win his matches. And I loved that Carlito was out there as well. Now, people are upset about that, but guys, the spear that Bron Breakker delivered to Carlito on that announce table, jumping from one to the other, unfreaking believable. I got to see a Carlito versus Breakker match at some point now, because that's just crazy how many spears this poor guy has taken. I got to see an apple spit in Bron's face after the pain that he has induced on Carlito. So it's really, really crazy to think that these four guys were able to get in this ring and put on a match like they did. I think it might be literally, like I said, one of the best matches I've seen like ever. It was incredible. And of course, we go to Dirty Dom Mysterio, who in shocking turn of events ends up winning the IC title. And the way he won it was pure cinema. The way he won it, obviously, is Finn Balor hit a coup de grace on Bron Breakker. And this is funny because I kind of predicted this. I kind of predicted this in a couple of videos. If you go back, I definitely predicted this in my night 2 video. This is hilarious. So Finn Balor hits a coup de grace on Bron Breakker, and then Dom hits him with the fly off of the ropes, and then he pins Finn. I mean, it's just insanity. And of course, in the middle of the match, Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio seems to turn on one another, and now the Judgment Day is in question here. Like, what happens next with the Judgment Day? I hope we get a separation of Finn Balor from the Judgment Day, and then he turns into the Demon again, because that is something that I definitely want to see. But of course, I'm not sure what happens with any of these guys outside Finn. I'm not really sure what goes on with him moving forward, the booking decisions. I hope we get some kind of interaction with him and Dom. Maybe at Backlash, we get an IC title bout for them. That'd be really cool. But guys, Dom Mysterio is now he's the heel you love to hate, and he is getting cheered out of the building once he wins this title. He even comes back down the ramp, goes back in the ring, lifts up the IC title, and people are going bananas. And then, of course, I did watch him in the post show, and he was in the doing an interview with the four guys up top, Big E, Joe Tessitore, and they were just, the crowd was going berserk for him. So Dom Mysterio, you deserve this. You've put in your work. He's technically, guys, a 20-year vet, just like he said. He's technically been doing this for 20 whole years, and I loved every second of his performance, and I can't wait to see what's next for him, and I can't wait for Raw after WrestleMania tomorrow. It is going to be such a fun time. Shout out Dom Mysterio. You absolutely deserve this. All right, moving on, guys. We got Randy Orton versus a mystery opponent, which ended up being freaking Joe Hendry. I could not have called that in a million years. That would have been my absolute last guess as to who was coming to WrestleMania. A TNA crossover, not going to Raw, not going to SmackDown, going to WrestleMania to wrestle Randy Orton. This is probably a dream, beyond a dream come true for Joe Hendry. And you know what? He came and he delivered. Now, people are probably a little upset about the length of this match. It was too short. But guys, this wasn't meant to be a Randy Orton, Iron Man 60-minute match, guys. This was meant to be a celebration of Randy Orton being in the company for a long time, and this being his 20th WrestleMania. We need to understand that. And guys, you can be critical about everything. You can dissect everything and be upset about it, but this was exactly what needed to happen. People are upset that it wasn't Rusev. People are upset it wasn't Jeff Hardy. Guys, Joe Hendry has been the talk of the town for the last year, and he's obviously stayed relevant enough to be able to come in this company and have a great time and have a great match with Randy Orton. And It was great. It was so great to see this. And Joe Hendry, in the post-interview show, Triple H went on a long spiel about Joe Hendry, and he says this is not going to be Joe Hendry's last WrestleMania. So we are going to be seeing Joe Hendry in the future in the WWE. And you know what? I can't freaking wait for it. I just hope they take care of him the right way. But this was amazing. Randy Orton's little tribute to Joe Hendry where he turns around to the camera and hits his pose. That's so cool, man. Randy Orton, you are a GOAT for like taking this time to have fun. And you know what? We are going to be seeing the Viper very soon. Backlash is just around the corner. That's his hometown. I can't wait for that. I'm going to make the assumption and the guess that it's going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena at Backlash. And if that doesn't happen, we're going to have a problem, WWE. So keep that in the back of your heads, guys. We'll see what happens at Backlash. All right. And then moving on to the next match, we had Logan Paul going up against AJ Styles. Now, again, not every match is going to be an absolute home run. I mean, I know it's WrestleMania, it's supposed to be, but guys, at the end of the day, AJ Styles is 48 years old, okay? And he doesn't have much left in the tank, and he's been absolutely public about that. He doesn't want to be in the company till he's 50. He probably is just happy to be there at WrestleMania. And you know what? They put on a great match. It wasn't a 5 out of 5, but it was a good match. I loved what they did. There was a lot of athleticism displayed. All the spotting was fantastic. And you know what, guys? Hate it or love it, Logan Paul is a freaking dog. Logan Paul is such an athletic freak, and the way he's been able to adjust himself and his mindset to this company and just succeed and really just be a force to be reckoned with in the ring, in and out, on the mic, doesn't matter. He is a dog, and we have to give him his props at some point in time. Now, I know you love to hate him. He's a billionaire who probably bought his spot on WrestleMania. His prime logos are all over the freaking place. But guys, again, he deserved this. He did a great job, and he ended up winning the match. Now, I don't know necessarily if he should have won the match. I think AJ Styles definitely needed, a win here at WrestleMania because, again, we don't know how many he has left in the tank, but it is what it is. You move on. But guys, Logan Paul is a force to be reckoned with, and he's somebody that's going to be definitely getting some more time moving forward. And we just need to respect that, and we need to understand that, and just be happy with what we saw. It was a great athletic bout, and that's what it was. It was a good time. It was a good time. So shout out to Logan Paul. Way to make it interesting. Of course, we got to see the brass knuckles come out once again, and you know what I was happy about? Karrion Kross got a freaking yes. Karrion Kross was in WrestleMania in his hometown. The crowd cheered for it, and he ended up getting, beat in the face by AJ Styles. And it is what it is. Now, I loved that, Karrion Kross was telling AJ Styles to take the brass knuckles because you know why? That's exactly what AJ Styles needed to do. But he didn't have the balls to do it. And that's what it is. He's a clean-cut guy. He doesn't want to cheat. And you got to respect that. But ultimately, if you're given an opportunity, you got to take it. And that's Karrion Kross's point, guys. That's Karrion Kross's point to do these things in order to win. So that's on AJ Styles. That's on AJ Styles. But you know what? I love the match. I loved how they did it. It was a great time. I was happy to see Karrion Kross in his hometown. All right, moving on. Wow, we got a really good match here, guys. We got Lyra Valkyria and her mystery opponent, which was Becky Lynch, coming back to WrestleMania. And it looks like she is back full-time now, so that's good to have. And then also Liv Morgan and Raquel were the title holders at the time, but they ended up losing. And now Lyra Valkyria has 2 titles, guys. Lyra Valkyria is on top of her game, and she is getting the treatment. She is really, really on top of her game. And then, of course, again, Becky Lynch comes back. And you know what? You can say what you want. It might have overshadowed Lyra's success a little bit. But at the end of the day, guys, it's Becky Lynch. And she's a GOAT. She's like definitely one of the GOATs in the women's division of all time. So she definitely deserved this moment. And people were pretty hyped about it. It was pretty cool to see. And I love that. I love the match. The match was great. Liv Morgan, again, is an absolute beast. And Raquel did a great job as well. Becky Lynch came in there and just destroyed Liv and then won. They won. It's just really what it is, And Lyra didn't play too much of a big part in this, and it was all Becky Lynch's show. Now, here's my prediction for the future. Obviously, this tag team's not going to last very long, and I think that Lyra needs some substance in her character. She's obviously got the in-ring ability, but there's got to be something to add to her personality. There's got to be more than people wooing when she comes out. We need to hear some boos. We need to hear some nastiness, and we need to see some dog from Lyra Valkyria. So I think that there's going to be a heel turn between Lyra and Becky Lynch, and I think Lyra is going to be the one doing the turning. I think Lyra needs a depth to her character. She needs a revamp, and she needs something that's going to make people want to tune in to watch her. Her in-ring ability is phenomenal. She definitely deserves the 2 titles she has, but I want to see more from her. I want to see something crazy. I want to see something vicious. So that's my prediction. Great match. I can't wait to see him on Raw after WrestleMania. And I do want to say, I hope they bring this in the storyline on the post show. Becky Lynch and Lyra were doing questionnaires and whatnot with the press, and Becky Lynch took over that whole entire press conference. Lyra maybe said 5 words. Becky Lynch's daughter said more than Lyra Valkyria in that press conference. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, because it's like they're just totally setting up for a heel turn here, and I hope they bring Becky's daughter into the equation, and Lyra uses that because people will hate her for that. So I hope that's the case. We will see. I can't wait how it all unfolds. All right, next up, Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his return to wrestling, the WWE, and it was kind of a train wreck. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I mean, like, it was cool. He just came out to do the attendance and just kind of let everyone know, hey, WWE's on top. You know, this is what we did. But in the beginning, if you didn't see it, he was driving his ATV around the ring, and he ended up crashing into the barricade. And then this lady in the front row, the video is clear as day. She allegedly got hurt and whatnot. Dude, she's fine. Like, it didn't, like, nothing happened to her. She's just trying to get a bag. You got to respect it. I probably would have done the same thing if I paid $9,000 to sit front row at WrestleMania. I'd try to get that money back at the very least. But she's probably gonna get something from it. She's probably gonna get some kind of autographed Stone Cold Steve Austin memorabilia at the very least. He was very apologetic about it, and he was he obviously felt bad about that. But you know what, guys? It was cool to see Stone Cold. And I'll talk about the crowd a little bit later, but, it was cool to see Stone Cold. Obviously, they threw a bag at him to come out and do his thing, but I was a little disappointed that he wasn't coming out during the John Cena and Cody Rhodes fight, which we'll talk about next. But it is what it is. At least we got Stone Cold. At least there seems to be some cohesiveness between him and the front office in the WWE. It's cool to see him back around, but the segment was a little forced and a little awkward. That's all I'll say about that, but it was cool to see him, All right, guys. So, all right, okay. Main event, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. So, of course, we get a long, drug-out match. And I'm not saying, like, dragged out in a negative connotation. I think it was a great match, personally. I think it was a great match. They were just wrestling to the best of their abilities, and everything happened perfectly. I loved it. I loved that John Cena was getting in and out of the ring and trying to, like, stop Cody from doing this and that. The match was good. It was a little awkward. You see John Cena shouting cues to Cody Rhodes in the middle of the matches. I wasn't a big fan of that. Like, you got to be a little bit more subtle. But you know what? That could be playing into his character. Him shouting out the cues and whatnot to Cody could be playing into John Cena's character. He just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about what I want. He's doing what's best for him. He's doing what's best for him in his best interest, and he's doing what's best for his corporate boss. So I think that this is all playing into John Cena's character. This is all going to come out in due time. And there's a lot to break down with this match, and I really don't want to go in depth on it. But guys, all I'm going to say is it's extremely easy to be negative and just critique everything that they did in this match and critique the booking decisions. You know what? It's too easy to do that. I'm going to tell you guys, this is exactly what I wanted. Okay. Now, did I want Travis Scott to come out and have a segment there? Not necessarily, but was it a bad segment? No. Like, Travis Scott took a great crossroads. He got his receipt. We've been talking about Travis Scott's receipt for the longest, and he got his receipt, and he did a great job. He sold that crossroads beautifully. So I was happy to see that. But guys, again, it's so easy to come out here and be like, oh, this is, I didn't want this to happen this way. Guys, we got exactly what we wanted. Okay. Cody Rhodes has been getting booed out of the freaking building for the last week and a half. Nobody wanted Cody Rhodes to win. John Cena is now the GOAT. He gets his 17th title. And you know what? I'm happy about it, because you know why? There are so many more booking decisions that John Cena can have that'll be a lot more interesting than what Cody Rhodes can do. And I'm not saying that because Cody Rhodes isn't, a great wrestler and or a great personality or anything like that. I'm saying that because this is John Cena's last run, guys. He's done in December. That's it. So obviously, there's a couple matches that I want to see before he goes out of the WWE. I want to see him go up against Randy Orton at Backlash. I want to see him go up against CM Punk at Money in the Bank. I want to see him go up against Roman Reigns. I want to see all these things, and I just think that Cody needs to take a step back. Okay, he's only been in the company since obviously Cody has a long history at WWE, but now he's only been in the company since WrestleMania 38. He's 38 years old. He can take a step back, let Cena get his retirement tour, and just let it be. Okay, guys, we just got to let it be. We can't get too upset about this. You know why? Because again, We're going to get good booking decisions. We're going to get great matches. We're going to get great storylines from this, okay? So that's why I want to say this was excellent. I'm very happy how this happened. It wasn't the greatest ending in the world. I was a little unsatisfied, but you know what? I'm very satisfied with what I'm going to be seeing in the future. As wrestling fans, guys, we have to be patient and we have to understand that there's a bigger payoff to this. Nothing is going to be given to us right in this moment. It's all leading up to bigger and better things. So I can't wait to tune into Pat McAfee Show and listen to John Cena's thought process on everything. That's going to be exciting for me tomorrow. And if you're watching this in the morning on Monday, tune in the Pat McAfee Show because this is going to be cool. You can't miss it. And Paul Heyman's going to be on there as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited. Ultimately, this match, I'm very happy with the end results. And I liked every part of this match. It was a long fought battle, and this is exactly what needed to happen. So shout out to Triple H for booking this. All right, guys. So I'm gonna give the total card an 8 out of 10 for night 2. Basically the same grade I gave the first night. And you know what, guys? I just want to say that it's easy to hate. Let's appreciate. But you know what? I will hate on the crowd. You know what? No matter what WrestleMania we're given, and if it's in America, the crowd's just gonna suck. You know, it's just a bunch of rich people there, and they're not necessarily gonna care as much as others. You know, yeah, like everyone, like if you live in Vegas, you know, and you're living close to the strip, you got money, and you're just like, oh, what a WrestleMania's here, like let's just go. You know, I think that's kind of the case here, and you're not getting the true diehard fans. I'll tell you what, if you were giving out WrestleMania tickets to people that actually cared, it would be a whole different story. People would be lit, people would be grateful. I just didn't care for the crowd both nights, and you know, we had the same conversation last year when they were in Philadelphia. The crowd just really wasn't it. And I think that's just how it's going to be with WrestleMania as long as it's in America. And that's just kind of how it is. And once we get WrestleMania in, I think it's 2026, we're going to have it in London. That's going to be a different story. That's going to be a fun freaking time, you know. But I really think that the European crowds this year ended up turning the energy and the tide for the American crowds because now they're copying all the chants. They understand that there's a competition here, and we got to step up our game if we want to be relevant and if we want to make sure that wrestling stays intact. But you know what, guys? I will end my thoughts on this, touching on the Cody Rhodes, John Cena thing. Screw all you guys for booing Cody Rhodes. Screw you guys. Seriously. Cody Rhodes has done everything right. He's done everything by the freaking book. How dare you guys turn on Cody? Okay? He did absolutely nothing wrong. The real issue here is that everyone's selfish and they want to see John Cena get one last big run. They want to see him be the GOAT. And then you know what? He's going to be gone and he's never coming back. So everyone just wants to be toxic and they want to boo Cody Rhodes for no freaking reason. He doesn't deserve that. And you know what? You guys don't deserve Cody Rhodes. I love Cody Rhodes to death. I would never boo him. But ultimately, I guess I'm a minority in that because he didn't deserve that. But that's my final thoughts on the match. And that's my final thoughts on WrestleMania weekend. Night 2 is over, guys. I'm excited for Raw after WrestleMania. Of course, we'll be doing a review on that as well. And if you haven't already, please like the video. Please comment on the video. And please, most importantly, please subscribe to the channel, guys. I really appreciate everyone tuning in and just showing love to the content. It means the world to me. Follow me on TikTok, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. We'll see y'all at the review for Raw after WrestleMania. Have a good one.